On July 18th, experience extraordinary music under the stars. Join Madison Opera for Opera in the Park, a free concert in Garner Park featuring the best of opera and Broadway. Opera in the Park 2026 takes place at 8 p.m. on Saturday, July 18th. The rain date is Sunday, July 19th. Pack a picnic, gather your friends, and join Madison Opera to celebrate 25 years of this magical night. Learn more at madisonopera.org. This is CityCast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. Today, it's Thursday, so of course it's time to dish on Madison's food scene. Today, it's food and fun with some music and stacked lineup of events. Opera in the Park is coming up, and we're digging into other tasty fun happenings in the Hamlet that you should know about. Sometimes they say Hamlet, and it sounds like ham. Joining me today now is our producer, Jade Iseri Ramos. Hey, Jade.
Hey, Bianca. Happy to be here.
Yes, and our special guest, General Director of the Madison Opera, Catherine Smith. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, glad to be here.
Yeah, so we're starting off with the fantastic event that people have been telling me about for years. So one of the most special, free, family-friendly events that happens in Madison is coming up this month, Opera in the Park. And it's the 25th anniversary. This year's event is on Saturday, July 18th at 8 p.m. in Garner Park, and it kicks off a year-long celebration of this offering. I've heard such great things, so we want to hear about it. I should note that Madison Opera is a sponsor of ours, and we are a media sponsor of this event. But this conversation is brought to you with complete editorial independence, pitched separately. We just wanted to talk about it. We love culture. All right, Catherine, for those who aren't familiar with Opera in the Park, what is this glorious tradition and gathering?
So Opera in the Park is a free concert in Garner Park on Madison's west side. And it is a concert of excerpts from different operas and a bit of musical theater, so arias and duets and ensembles. And we have 4 wonderful soloists. We have the Madison Opera Chorus and the Madison Symphony Orchestra. So it is a full concert, completely free. Garner Park is a beautiful, beautiful park. Many people probably haven't been there. It has a beautiful hill that curves up to the sky. So you're literally listening to music under the stars. And you'll hear music that you might know because we're doing things from Carmen, which we're doing next year. So you'll hear the Toreador song, but we'll also do things that are more unusual that even I didn't know when I programmed it, like an aria from Cherubini's Medea and a little bit from musical theater. We're doing a little something from Sweeney Todd. So it's a real mix of music and something for everyone, and just a really wonderful way to be with your community in a beautiful park with great music. And it's, 25 years this year.
25 years is pretty tremendous. And it sounds like such a wide swath of different offerings to show the different strengths and y'all's range.
Exactly. It's over the company's history. I think the numbers are something like 350 different arias from 100-something different operas in 7 different languages and 86 different composers. I think for people who think opera is a very small amount of music, Opera in the Park really proves it's this massive repertoire, and we sort of do it all and share it all with Madison's audiences for free, again, in Garner Park.
I love the way that you were just talking about that, like under the stars. It just sounds so magical. And I love that it's in a part of Madison that deserves all that magic.
It is. And we're the only concert in Garner Park. We're the only event in that side of town. And Garner Park is a little tucked away from, it's not in downtown, it's not surrounded by buildings. So what happens, the concert starts at 8, which means by 9, it's dark. So it really is, you're in this sort of darkened park amphitheater with the moon, because the weather will be perfect. The weather will be perfect. The moon will be out, the stars will be out. And so that's your illumination, the stars and the moon and your fellow guests. And don't forget, of course, do you know about the light stick number? Have you heard about the light stick?
No, what's this?
Okay. So this is the most wonderful thing about Opera in the Park, and no one can tell me whose idea it first was 25 years ago. There is one number on the concert in the second half, and we never tell anyone what it is in advance, where we say to the audience, this is the light stick number. And we sell light sticks, glow sticks. And that is the number that everyone is supposed to conduct along to with their light sticks. And John Demain will turn around and he'll have a light stick and start conducting the audience. And I pick a number that has, a beat that you can follow along to. And it sounds cool, but in person, to see that many thousands of light sticks moving in a dark park in time to the music, it's like everyone is singing together. It's like singing with light. And it is the greatest thing to see and to witness, because that's the community sharing something so magical for just 3 minutes. And it's everyone's favorite part of the concert.
And did I see like around 10,000 people come? Like it draws a lot of folks. That sounds so magic.
It draws a lot of people. Draws people from all over. And we always say we don't know everyone who's out there. I often walk around the park earlier in the morning when people are setting up, and you ask people more or less, how did you start coming? And sometimes they live in the neighborhood. And I was watching someone set up a large picnic, clearly, and she said, well, it was just originally me and a friend, and then we got to know the people on the blanket next to us, so the next year we came together, and now there are 30 of us, and we go to events all over town.
Oh my gosh. Find your not just new friends, but your whole squad.
Yeah, it's Madison community coming together and meeting in the park and walking out as friends, and that's a just really magical thing about it.
Yeah, and when you're talking about like just the sheer volume of music that has been played at Opera in the Park, it did make me think, have you been in the archives? Like when you were doing the programming, have you been looking back at, what's been and talk a little bit about that for this 25th?
Well, so we built a page. There's a page on our website of Opera in the Park history that actually lists all the repertoire we have done. So you can look at every single piece we've done and every singer who's sung at Opera in the Park. In terms of programming it, when I program the concert, I'm always looking at what we have done before, not just in the first concert, but last year and the year before, because you want to mix. You don't want to do the same program every year. So this year's program includes a few pieces that we did do the very first year of Opera in the Park, but also some pieces we've never done at Opera in the Park. So it's always the mixture and always things people will know and things that people will say, I've never even heard of that before, but now I know it. And that's the wonderful musical mixture.
This has to be most people, but like I like a song the more that I hear it. Like I'm like, oh, that's that song. But so having those repeats and playbacks is a good fun.
Yeah. And it feeds the musical curiosity of the community, right? Everyone comes in with a different level of knowledge and a different sort of music they like too. Some people really like it when we do go into the musical theater things, and some people, they really more prefer the more serious opera. And we span several hundred years worth of music with some really great singers.
Talking about serving the whole community, I feel really lucky to live in Madison, where art and performance is very accessible and often free. I've seen Opera in the Park be called your free gift to the community. And I'm also thinking about events like Concerts on the Square or the huge free centennial celebration that the Madison Symphony Orchestra recently held. What do you think it is about Madison that sustains this commitment to free community-centered art?
I think Madison's a very unique place in that we have so much wonderful free cultural events, often a lot during the summer when we all want to be outdoors, but even during the year, obviously the zoo is free, most of the museums are free. And that's due, I think, to the incredible generosity of, frankly, of individuals in our community of Madison. It's not a secret that Wisconsin is 49th or 50th in the country for government support of the arts. It is being funded by individuals who very generously believe there should be concerts in the park, there should be a zoo, there should be all of this available to everyone in Madison. And so we at Madison Opera are very lucky that we have many generous donors who help us put on this wonderful concert. It costs over $350,000 a year to put on, and it is all paid for by generous sponsors and donors and people in the community who say it's worth it to bring all these people together under that night sky and share magical community. And Madison is very unique that way and very lucky to have such generous people in the community who want to share the arts with each other.
Yeah, that's such a deep answer. And the question, it's like, how is this coming together to offer something for so many people and to have, multiple musicians brought in and all of everything that goes into putting on a massive event. And, I do have to say, I've heard from other music venue owners on the show who have come on and said, Madison actually has a problem here because it's a challenge for people who are trying to offer the arts when there are expectations that things come for free. So it's this really nice thing. Yeah.
If I can get it for free, why should I pay to see it? And that I can see, especially for certain kinds of music. It would be lovely if everyone who came to Opera in the Park then bought a ticket to see opera in the theater. They don't. Not all of them. Some of them do, and some of them come into it that way. That is a reality of what we do. We don't only do Opera in the Park to hope to get future opera lovers. There's a joy of music in the community. But you're right, that's a interesting challenge, and it's interesting that you've heard that from other people in the music business in Madison, that competing with the free events is hard.
You know what we have to talk about because it's Thursday, food. Food and drink. The Thursdays are our normal food conversations. I do understand there will be snacks, right? And can folks bring picnics in?
Yes, people should absolutely bring in picnics. We don't actually have food vendors there. We have chocolate shops selling ice cream, but because Garner Park, as I said, is tucked away, it isn't like there are places food trucks could park. There literally are not. So we have chocolate shop ice cream available, but people should bring in their own picnics or whatever they want to eat or drink. And some people bring in very elaborate picnics we've seen. And this year we're having a picnic contest that if people want to send in photos of their picnics, we're rewarding the best with some tickets to the opera.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you can find out all about it on our social media. We just announced that a couple days ago because we see photos sometimes, but we're not really out in the park to see all of them. So we thought, let's have people show us what they're doing and then let's invite them to the opera as a thank you.
A picnic off. A picnic off.
We can't taste them all, unfortunately. So we're going to have to go based on what they look like. We have best sort of display and then best array of food. I think that's part of the magic of it too. People will bring wonderful picnics or just, bring themselves. You don't have to be elaborate, but you can bring, bottle of Diet Coke or bring water. We're outside in the heat. Bring water, no matter what, and just enjoy yourself. Eat in a way that you can't in the opera house.
Yeah, that's very fair. I mean, speaking of bringing water, what are the logistics people need to know about this? We know it's a free event, but what about parking, weather, rescheduling dates, the sort of need to knows?
Yeah. So parking is available at University Research Park across the street from the park. And there are police on site to help guide people towards where they can park. And obviously, we are on a major bus line, so taking the bus is always a good option, or biking there. And there's more information on all of this on our website. For weather, the thing that gives me gray hair, we decide by Saturday at no later than 5 o'clock if we might have to move the concert to Sunday. If we have to move the concert to Sunday, it's the same time, 8 o'clock Sunday, same time, same place, same concert. And if we make the change, we announce via social media, we put it on our website, we put it as many places as we can. And yes, bring your water, bring sunscreen, bring bug spray. We're in a park. Make smart decisions about your health. Look out for your neighbors. Pack out your trash. Be a good citizen. And people in Madison really are. The amazing thing, when I started here, Opera in the Park was my second week on the job.
Really?
Hosting Opera in the Park was my second week on the job,
wow.
Which was terrifying in and of itself.
And baptism by fire.
And I'm terrified. I was at the time terrified of public speaking, which was and you're talking in front of 10,000 people. But the two things that amazed me the most, one was the light stick number, because it had been described, but until I saw it, nothing like I'd seen. But the other, at the end of the night, there was almost no trash left on the ground. Everyone packs out in Madison. Madison people take such good care of their parks. And that is not true in every community in this country. So it's something for Madison people to be very proud of. They really do take good care of their parks.
Yeah. And talking about comparisons, like I just want to talk about the opera kind of big picture here, because if folks didn't hear the conversation when we had you on to talk about the Madison Opera's first world premiere show, Everlasting Fate, that was incredible. We got to hear more in depth about just the mastery and really the level and caliber of artistry that we have here. I know, Jade, you produced a show with John DeMaine, the maestro extraordinaire. So we have been learning so much more about what Madison Opera offers over the past couple of years. And I'm curious, you talking about your experience and your first 2 weeks on the job. You have a full career in the opera and you travel, you look at other programs. Like what is special about our opera scene and like how do we compare to other cities and this event specifically?
Madison is really a unique art scene in general. And I know that's not original to say that Madison really punches above its weight overall in its art scene, given the size of the population, given, as we said, the lack of government support for the arts. Just overall, we have a very strong art scene, and that's very true of the opera. We, Madison Opera, produce 3 productions a year. That is a equal or higher number than companies with bigger budgets than us, and we produce them at a very high artistic level. Again, for our budget size, that is quite amazing. To have Opera in the Park on top of that, to have a major outdoor concert that has, again, singers of these caliber coming here and performing for free. All of that is just not what one might expect for the size of company we are in the community we are. We're producing opera and music just at a higher level than people, let's just say, on the East Coast who don't know where Wisconsin is, and we all know there are people on the East Coast who don't know where Wisconsin is, then they would assume when you say, oh, Madison Opera. And when singers come here, they love this company, they love this community because it is such high quality. The community is so lovely. Singers love being in Madison, even in January, believe it or not. They
That's
certainly
a
love
testament.
Yeah, they love it a little more when it's not negative 20 degrees, but we have the beautiful Overture Hall has perfect acoustics. Singers when they see opera in the park, when they do it, they realize what a magical experience that is. So we have this sort of magical company in many ways that just does a wide variety of opera with really great singers. We have great audiences. Our subscriber base, Madison Opera's subscriber base, has been growing steadily in the last few years. That is actually unusual among opera companies right now, that our audience is getting bigger. And that's exciting. And that we're doing it with
exciting
new works and not, we keep doing the heritage works like Carmen, which I adore, is in our season this year. But we also are doing Bellini's Norma, which is an opera from 1835, and we've never done it before. So we are challenging our audiences, having the heritage works that are still new for younger audiences, and just serving a very broad range. So circling back to your question, how are we within the U.S.? We're a really good regional opera company and with a really good reputation within the country, too.
This makes me think back to you calling out the very generous donors who keep this event free and how much of this is on us, right? Like, this is ours to lose. Having culture that bats above our weight is something I value and makes me think about making sure that I'm getting out to support the Madison Opera during the regular season.
And ours to embrace.
Yeah, ours to embrace. Yeah.
I love the way both of you just said that. It's it's yours, ours in the community. All of the communities, all of these arts are ours to embrace, ours to lose, ours to take care of, because it is generationally gifts given to all of us by generations that helped build it before us, for us. And it's in a way ours to also make sure continues forward and grows in whatever way the community grows.
I just can't get over the image I have in my head this whole conversation of like 10,000 people with glow sticks and their ice cream and like living their
Hopefully
best
they're
life.
not waving the ice cream around because that's a whole different mess.
Be responsible with your ice cream, people. But I don't know. It makes me think of, Coldplay came to play at the Camp Randall. And I was like, it's too expensive. I can't go. And I missed that thing. But then I'm like, there's opera in the park. And
that was the same night. Coldplay was the same night as Opera in the Park last summer. It was the same night, which, we scheduled long in advance, well before they did. And that got announced. And we thought, okay, it's not just audience, but also stage crew. We are working in the park several days in advance. There's a lot of technical elements that go into the concert. And those same wonderful stage crew also work at Camp Randall for concerts. And then we were worried about a lot of different technical elements. Could we get them, or was everything going to be working the Coldplay concert? And in the end, it all came off perfectly. Both events happened. The police, all the traffic control had to manage those two massive events at once because that's a lot of traffic, both going to Camp Randall and our event and coming out, and it all worked. This year, AC/DC is playing at Camp Randall on the Sunday. So
bringing the electricity.
We are not overlapping.
Well, I will say that we are rooting for y'all in having the best event ever, the 25th anniversary. It really is such a milestone. And we're very grateful that you came on to the show to tell us about the event and give us a little background. And it just sounds like a blast. Catherine Smith, director of the Madison Opera since 2011. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay, we are turning to more events in Madison this week and weekend. And first up, we want to hear from you. What are you getting up to? What are some of the events that should be on folks' radar? Let us know by texting or leaving us a voicemail on the CityCast Madison line at 608-318-3367. We love hearing from you and would love to include your thoughts in an upcoming mailbag segment this Friday. Let people know what's happening. What are you getting into? Stay close, and we'll be right back. We are back, and Jade, we're looking ahead to the weekend with an events roundup. There's genuinely a lot of big hitters this week and weekend. Starting off, what is going on today in Madison?
Yeah, so this weekend is not one that you want to miss in Madison. Starting today is Fête des Marquettes at McPike Park, and it goes all weekend long, all the way through Sunday. So we talked about Fête a lot during the July guide, so I won't get so deep into this one, but it's one of the biggest festivals that happens in Madison every year, and they're celebrating 20 years, and the weather looks gorgeous. And this is important because the past couple years, they've had to delay a few shows and even cancel like days because the weather was not great.
Yeah, it was like storms, like rainy storms, which is no fun when you're in the field, but gorgeous weather on La Fête des Marquettes, though. Like, that's ideal.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. And, on Thursdays, we talk about food and drink. And food and drink can certainly be found at Fête, from your favorite food trucks and cooks under pop-up tents to the wine and beer gardens all around the festival.
The food that stands out to me, and I probably get it like every single time, is lao lang zhang. Like, there's something about having it at the park that feels like, oh, I'm getting away with something versus me just buying it every single week and eating it at home.
They're also so fast. Like, I think that's the thing with them in particular is like, I know that I'm going to be eating in, 2 minutes when I walk up to their tent. Also, Just Veggies is normally there, and they're a great staple as well.
Yeah, totally. And there's beer and ice cream. Like, you can get it all.
I should also note that our executive producer, Haley Sperling, and our senior account executive, Chris Adams, will be volunteering at the Everything Else Cafe tonight from 4 to 7. And the Everything Else Cafe is the festival hub for anything but beer. So think wine, seltzers, THC drinks, kombucha, I guess anything else that isn't beer. So go check them out. Again, they're going to be there from 4 to 7 tonight on Thursday.
I love that concept, and it's appropriate. Like, we can split, like, it's appropriate segregation. But I really like the concept of Haley and Chris being there. Y'all are superstars volunteering, and you're going to have a lot of smiles to be seeing. Obviously the music is what's one of the most exciting parts about La Fête de Marquette. Like, they really put a lot of time into putting together that roster. And the folks that I'm really excited for people to see, of course, are our local faves, like Mama's Dig Down Brass Band. Mr. Chair is one of my favorites over the past few years, getting to know them better. And DJ Femme Noir.
DJ Femme Noir. That's how I feel about DJ Femme Noir.
Yes. Dun, 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 dun. Like, we could and we need some music to pump that up. So
yeah, could she DJ a recording here? I would love it.
Actually, yeah, let's manifest this. And also, as La Fête de Marquette has grown, I think the dance scene is a really big part of it.
Yeah, they have a 1 p.m. hot summer gaze that just happens middle of the day. I love it. I love dancing at noon, you know?
I think that's one of the most Madison things, and one of my favorite things too. Madison, gay noon dancers.
Gay noon dancing.
And, there are lots of other local acts, but really also the national and international talent that comes is always a highlight. Los Lobos, I know our guys Rob and Chris on the CityCast Madison team are really excited about Los Lobos for good reason. They're awesome. There are Zydeco bands. One singer I've listened to that I also want to shout out is Shamika Copeland. Her music is really enjoyable and her voice is amazing. She's a powerhouse. It's soulful and raw, but also twangy. I really love the soul and country that comes together. It's just yeah. That sounded more like Elvis. I'm embarrassed, but La Fête de Marquette is really one of the best festivals that happen in Madison every year. We're going to talk about it every year.
Every year.
Yeah, which that is all this weekend, but let's go ahead and keep moving with events. What's going on Friday, Jade?
Yeah, so I have 2 Friday events, which are actually both Friday and Saturday events. So this is kind of 2-day, 2-for-1 situation. First, there's the Ulbricht's Home Garden Tour. Basically, you get a map of a bunch of home gardens. I think they're all in Verona, but they don't widely publish the addresses. Part of, getting a ticket to go is that you buy the map and also privacy. But I think this is fun because I am deep on the garden side of Instagram these days. And I get a lot of Instagram reels that are coming to me from Denver or, Massachusetts. And they're just not growing the same things that we are on the same schedule that we are. And so I'm excited for this opportunity to go and see gardens that are in our area and talk to area gardeners. I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah, I had not thought of that. And you are deep in your gardener era, Jade. So I love this for you and everyone else to know what's possible.
Yeah, this is the best time to be in the garden. I was out this morning kind of early. It was before 7, and a woman pulled over to talk to me, and she rolled down her window and she's like, "I love watching what you're growing there." It's it's just such a sweet thing. This happens to me maybe every other day. So I love gardening. I love gardening in community, and this event is perfect for me.
I wasn't going to be weird, but I am one of those people. I drive by and I'm I love seeing, I haven't literally looked into your garden, but I'm there's Jade's garden.
Taking it in a totally different direction, my second event that's happening on Friday with also performances on Saturday is the Madison Aerial Alliance is putting on a circus burlesque show called Exposed at the Madison Circus Space. And I think this is going to be really powerful and artful. It's going to be beautiful people in beautiful outfits, high above the audience in silks. And I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. The Fête is having Le Cirque Burlesque, so kind of a lot of burlesque circus arts, which is exciting. I don't know if it gets more exciting than that. The greatest show on earth meets burlesque, which is also another greatest show on earth, if you know what I mean.
It's so Madison. This is so Madison.
Yes. And speaking of artful, one of the events I bring into this roundup is the art fair on the square, which is happening also on Saturday and Sunday. So that event is put on by Madison Museum of Contemporary Art, which is located on State Street. Some people call it Momoka. I'm not going to argue about it. It's that big glass corner building. I'm bringing this event as a proud former employee, longtime fan, and actually someone who's worked at this fair. It's quite the production. This is a massive art event that features more than 300 artists, and they are from everywhere, y'all. It happens right downtown and takes over really the whole square. And we should note that the Dane County Farmers Market, which normally takes place there, will be moved to Breeze Stevens Field on Saturday. So you don't have to go that far, but it ain't going to be there. So don't forget. Jade, are you an art fair person?
Oh, I definitely am, but I have a really hard time buying art at things like this. And I think I just need to dig deep and spend the money and buy the art that I connect with. I think I need to empower myself, maybe with a solid budget and a couple $100 bills,
Well, I'll say I agree with you, and there is some reasonableness to having a little caution because you can get so excited by all of the things. I am happily wearing a ring right now that is from the art fair on the square. And I know though that I have a problem. So I have way too much art for my walls, including I'll be there and I'm like, oh my God, that photograph of a rusty sink from a hospital that I'm like, that's so deep. That's crazy. And then I bought it. I'm like, why do I have this? This is not what I need. But I've also bought so many pieces that I love. All love to the art fair on the square. I've also gotten gifts for folks. I bought, the movie Gremlins, a wonderful watercolor for my friend a few years back, which is probably displayed in his apartment and his spirit. But art fair on the square is happening, and there's an art fair off the square. It's the 47th annual Off the Square Fair that is over the same dates. It's just held on the 200 block of MLK Boulevard, features 100 plus Wisconsin artists. So you can get that local fix. There's mixed media, wood carving, painting. They've got it all. And my favorite part about all of this is meeting the artists. You have the opportunity to talk with artisans and learn about their process and I don't know, see some cool things.
Support local artists or artists who choose to come to Madison and sell their wares. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of a running thread of today's episode is support local artists and eat while you're doing it.
Yeah.
And speaking about supporting local artists, I want to share for our rocker queens, this Saturday is Girls Rock Camp at Majestic Theater, and it's righteous. It's supporting girls getting into rock and roll. The basic deets is this is an organization, an event that really happens all over the country. And the impetus was that girls can rock and they should have a space to learn together how to play rock and roll. So this is girls, trans and non-binary inclusive, ages 8 to 18, who get the opportunity to learn new music skills and create their own rock bands at this 1-week summer day camp. If you haven't heard of it, it's awesome. If you have, amazing. You know that it's cool. This program then ends with a showcase concert, kind of like School of Rock, just girls only.
Bianca, the way that I can see a little you being so into this.
I appreciate that thought. I mean, I think I really relate to being a girl that was oh, I can't play guitar. That is such a guy thing. I don't think that ever crossed my mind to play guitar, but I was someone who tried to play crabgrass, taking a piece of grass and blowing into it like it's a horn. So, I mean, I've got musical talent, that's for sure.
I totally relate with that though, because when I was a kid, I thought Rock Band and Guitar Hero were so for boys that even now I'm yeah, sure, I'll play Guitar Hero at IO, but I'm on easy and no one look at me, A
high recommendation to follow She Shreds on Instagram. It's just super empowering. So it's just total badass women playing guitar. And yeah, I think that this community is awesome. So that's this Saturday, Girls Rock Camp. Jade, take us home. What's going on Sunday?
Yeah, this is kind of totally left field of everything that we've talked about. But the thing that I'm looking at for Sunday is Dragonfly Diversity at Fair Meadows, which is hosted by the Southern Wisconsin Bird Alliance. It's a guided field trip to learn all about the local dragonflies in our area, to spot and identify them And I love this idea to end your weekend getting connected with nature and learn a little bit more about our bug friends.
That's rad.
Yeah.
That is really rad.
Speak about rock and roll. And then also hey, if it's Sunday and you haven't been to FET yet, go check it out. It's all weekend long. Seriously, go check out FET.
Yeah, we have a jam-packed weekend ahead of us. Jade Isiri Ramos, thanks for the great event ideas.
It's been so fun to gab, Bianca.
That's all for today here on CityCast Madison. I'm your host, Bianca Martin. Don't forget, you can support the show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Madison neighbor at membership.citycast.fm/Madison. And if you enjoyed today's show, which I'm assuming you did, we enjoyed it, why not share this episode with someone who likes to rock? Help spread the word about CityCast Madison. Share this episode far and wide. And we will be back tomorrow morning with more stories from around the city. Until then, take good care, subscribe to our podcast if you haven't, and thanks for listening.